think so is J.R. Smith, not in the NBA, but definitely in full swing. Made his debut for the North Carolina A&T men's golf team. J.R. shot 7 over 78 Monday, round 1 of the Elon Phoenix Invitational Tournament in Burlington, North Carolina. J.R. wasn't given an exemption or a free pass. He had to qualify for this tournament like all the other golfers. In fact, his head coach, Richard Watkins, said this about how competitive J.R. is. If you want to find out how good a golfer really is, put the word tournament or money in front of the round. Hey, coach, not the case with J.R. The word money not getting him to play any harder. J.R. pulled into the tournament, not on the team bus, if there was one, not in the car that I had when I was in college, my old beat-up Mazda Miata.
That's Broussard's
Not in the car Marnie had, where she had to hold up the rearview mirror because it kept falling off. Guy showed up in a Bentley. Full-blown, more expensive than my kid's education, loaded Bentley. Just boss move, JR. Boss move.
Hope he at least,
show up in that ride.
I hope he at least brought a few teammates with him.
I don't know how many you could fit in there. You don't want to, ruffle the seats at all. Just intimidate the opponent. Shoot whatever you want. 7 over 78, 10 over 81. Doesn't matter. Call it a good day. Show up in a ride like that. Money's not affecting JR in this tournament. The Elon Phoenix Invitational.
That is a sweet ride, Jenna. That is a sweet ride.
Hey, guess who else showed up? Ben Simmons. Ben is back. We're going to talk about it later in the show. So he's got a few options of what he's going to do here. Maybe he's here just for a little while to, stop from, getting his money taken away from him. That's one option. Maybe he shows up and says, ooh, my back hurts. Oh, I have an undiagnosable back injury. I showed up, but now I'm going to go rehab it in LA. That's an option. Or this option from NBA Reddit, which might be the best idea I've ever heard in my entire life. If Ben Simmons really wants to get traded and get his money, he should return to these Sixers and exclusively shoot threes from our buddy QWERTY and a bunch of letters there. Okay, this is a fantastic idea. Now, Ben has only taken 34 career threes. A lot of them just heaves at the end of a half or the end of a game. Usually not the end of the game. That would be a bad play call. Usually the end of a quarter. This is a wonderful idea. You want me to shoot threes? You got it. And Broussard, not without precedent. Don't forget, Kobe was criticized for shooting so much. So in a playoff game, he's like, all right, I'll pass. You want me to pass? I'll pass. I'll be Kobe Bryant. See how much you like it. And afterwards, what happened? Oh, you know what? The national, you should shoot. We're sorry. We apologize. So, Ben, get out there, fire away. Seth Curry, you sit down, fire away until all of Philadelphia says, we're sorry. Maybe you should just drive the lane and play good defense. We apologize. Brilliant idea.
Hey, don't be so surprised. There could be ulterior motives here, Nick.
Well, listen, what I'm more focused on is this. There is a $1,000 bounty for the first viewer that finds Wild's undercover NBA Reddit handle and sends it to me. It's not at Kevin Wilds, but the fact that he's on there, no. You're not just a lurker, you're a poster. You probably talk mad trash about me under Celtics fan 44 or something. So what, Wilds? What's up, buddy? Calling timeout for fault.
It's Celtics fan. No one has Celtics fan 44. You have Celtics fan 33 or double zero for the Chiefs.
No, Danny Ainge was Celtics 44. What are you guys talking about?
Exactly.
That was Danny Ainge. To start this morning with news out of the NFL. Yesterday, head coach Jon Gruden resigned as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders after a number of his emails were leaked to the public. Emails which included racist, misogynistic, and homophobic language over a 7-year period between 2011 and 2018. About everyone from team owners to Roger Goodell. Gruden steps down just 4 years into his 10-year, $100 million deal. Yesterday, he issued this statement. I have resigned as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I love the Raiders and do not want to be a distraction. Thank you to all the players, coaches, staff, and fans of Raider Nation. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt anyone. Raiders assistant Rich Bisaccia has taken over as the interim coach for now. But Chris Broussard, in a league that's trying to move forward, be more inclusive, what do you make of all this by Jon Gruden?
Well, obviously, he had to go, Jenna. I mean, he insulted a number of people groups that are represented not only within the league, but within the Las Vegas Raiders organization. And while I think every single team would have fired or led Gruden to resign under duress, however you want to phrase it, after these emails surfaced, it can't be lost on people that the Oakland Raiders, or the Raiders organization, Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, they have always been, they've arguably been the NFL's model franchise for diversity, arguably. And that started under Al Davis, the late owner, whose son Mark now runs the team and obviously hired Jon Gruden a few years ago. But the Raiders were the first NFL team in the modern era to hire a black coach in Art Shell. They were the first team to hire a Hispanic coach in Tom Flores. They were the first team to have a female executive in former CEO Amy Trask. And before this season, their defensive end, Carl Nassib, came out as gay and became the first openly gay player to play in a regular season NFL game. So with all of that, I mean, Jon Gruden was obviously going against all that Al Davis and this franchise had stood for in terms of diversity and inclusion, not to mention the league. I mean, you have messages of stop hate and inspire change on the back of players' helmets, in the end zones, in racism, things like that. And to have a head coach with a plethora of emails going against all of that was just untenable. I think he would have, or at least in the short term, he would have, Nick, survived the first email about DeMaurice Smith, the executive director of the Players Association. But he, that may have been short term, because it would have depended on how the players responded to him, because they were listless in that game against Chicago the other night. But long term, after these emails surfaced, there's no way he was going to last.
Gruden had a tiny bit, and it was tiny, but a tiny bit of wiggle room around the DeMaurice Smith email. And that wiggle room is he's just an idiot. It was the only reason Jon Gruden deserved any benefit of the doubt was, is he really dumb enough to not know that calling a UVA grad, established lawyer, who happens to be a black man, dumb, and comment on the size of his lips wasn't racist? And the only possible out there is, I'm literally just a stupid, stupid man. And I'm unaware of all of American history, contemporary tropes, and racism. And it's like, all right, is he that dumb? Maybe. I guess if the players and guys that have worked with him are going to defend him. I haven't been around Gruden. I'll give you the 1% chance you didn't know exactly what commenting on the size of DeMaurice Smith's lips actually means. But there is no wiggle room here. He used the most offensive slur imaginable for gay people and directed it seemingly haphazardly at anyone and everyone who he thought wasn't acting man enough or tough enough. He called gay players queers. And to go back to the stupid part, he's out here sending naked pictures of women to other grown adults on their work emails.